All right, it's about to be market open. How's everybody doing? Um, let's see how today goes. What do you think about my new NinjaTrader skin and the new look of the accounts dashboard? I was working on that last night and I went for more of like a Star Citizen look. I'll probably keep changing it because that's just how I am, but oh, we're dumping right off the line. And when we get a big dump right off the line, my worry is that when it does a little retracement, that is going to trick my bot into buying the top of that. And then, you know, we continue down, get stopped out. Although that has been happening a lot less after I added the risk to reward filter so that it doesn't take trades that are over 3 RR. So, anyway, but back to the NinjaTrader skin I was talking about. I like the NinjaTrader dark skin, but I wanted something that was more interesting for me. You know, I know that the sci-fi look is very niche. It's not something that everybody likes. And I may change it back within the next month to something that's more just typical modern UI. But anyway, it was fun learning how to create a custom NinjaTrader skin using the Windows WPF XAML. All right, so we had a couple of rejected trades. There's another one. Risk to reward ratio too high, 3.2 to 1. So that was rejected. And, you know, it looks like that might have been a good trade or stopped out at break even. But I don't care because this new filter has really reduced the losses. Now, we'll surely take one or more losses today, but the point of it is that, you know, generally the big losses are fewer and further between now, is what I'm getting at. So that's 40 points down and 40 points up. Did anybody catch any of that? As you probably know, I am watching this after the fact. My bot traded this morning and I had to take my kids to school. So I'm seeing this for the first time. I saw the P&L I ended up with, but I don't know the trades that it took. So I'm seeing these now. I gotta stop leaning on my desk. I keep shaking the camera. I would love to eventually make enough money from YouTube that I can justify investing in a better setup. I still have this very small Costco standing desk, which has served me well, but I would like something, you know, a bigger desk with more space, enough for dual ultra wide monitors, not the crazy curved like Samsung G29 or whatever it is. Um, Not the 40-inch wide ones. I think mine is 34 and I don't want curved. Anyway, so it's already 9:33 and we have not taken a trade yet for various reasons, like the cloud is not aligned. The cloud is the any kind of like group of moving averages, you call that a cloud. So what was this one? Hmm. I guess that was like probably 2.9 to 1 or something, because that looked pretty high up there in the risk to reward. So as you can see on the right, total funded P&L right now is 170 plus, oh no, it's 210, $210.70. So yeah, hopefully we don't just chop here for the rest of the session, because then we're going to probably end up with multiple losses. rather than hitting the daily profit target of $320 on the leader account. I've got this eval you can see on the right that has 170 PNL right now. That one is set at 3 contracts, and the 2 PAs are 2 contracts for the 250K and 1 contract for the 50K. Another rejected trade, risk to reward too high. We're up to 295 for the day on the leader account. But, we could still lose it all because the profit goal when it stops trading is 320. So we could take some losses and be back at 0 or less. So, hopefully this works out. As you can see though, it's just taking small scalps. So the way it works is as long as the risk to reward is approved, then it will enter the trade and it will just scalp, 5 to 10 points up to the nearest 10 level. That it has to be at least 15 ticks away. That's the current setting I have it at. So that's why the profit target in the last trade was at like 218.25, for example, because usually it'll go towards a 10 level, especially 20 levels, but not necessarily go through it or exactly to it. And when I had it without that buffer of a few ticks away from the 10 level, there were so many times where it almost hit profit target, like 1 tick away, 2 ticks away, and then reversed. So that's why I added that buffer, so that instead of right at 21,220 for a profit target, it would do like 21,218.25, for example. So while my bot is missing out on moves like this, real traders are mostly able to take advantage of it because they can look at, what they determine to be liquidity draws or support and resistance levels, and they can decide where to put their TP. And based on a bunch of other stuff, they see how they're feeling about the price action. They can decide where they're going to trail their stop at, if at all. I've built some AI stuff into my bot, which is currently experimental, which will take a look at the price action on the charts on a few different time frames. The current one you're seeing now, plus what else is there? The 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 hour, and 15-second, I believe. It looks at all of those and it'll determine, okay, what are the key levels, where are the draws on liquidity that it sees, and where does it think the next price goal would be, like the next draw. For example, we're going bearish and then there's a key low on 15-minute. It would notice that and think, okay, well, maybe our goal for the day is that 15-minute low. So it would disable longs. So the bot wouldn't be able to take any long trades. It would ignore all long signals and just, skip those. And then once prices, reverse back down, it would take those shorts. So, that's a work in progress. I don't always agree with what it says, and I have not tested it enough, but the way it would work is about every 5 minutes, it would make a call to Claude AI, Anthropic's large language model, and send the screenshots and get the response back and determine what to do based on that. But yeah, there's a lot of work to do there before I would want to use it. Sometimes simpler can be better. And if we do start having larger, well, I shouldn't say that. We've been having really big movements in 9:30 to 11 a.m. these days. So what I'm really meaning to say is once I get my accounts with 1 to 2,000 buffer above the minimum safety net, then I'm going to probably start increasing the profit target distance and letting it just trail the stop at 10 levels. So I can start capturing a little bit, bigger movements. But right now, when I just don't want to lose that trailing drawdown. I don't want to give up progress on a couple bad trades. So I'm just, scalping these small trades, or I'm letting the bot do it while I make sure everything's okay. So it's 9:41. We are still at 295.70 profit on the leader for the day. The goal is 320. And why 320? That is just because based on a lot of testing, that seems to be a reasonable number to hit. I will say that, we've had big days the last few days, and oftentimes after a big day yesterday where we like dump a whole lot, the next day is going to be most likely a little bit choppy. So most of the time when I'm expecting it to be choppy, I might want to lower that daily profit goal a little bit to maybe like 280 or something like that. Not really sure. Currently, I'm trying not to interfere too much and second guess things and introduce human failings into this. So that's why I've just left it 320. Max loss is at 400 as well. It's trying to get into buys, but it's not passing the filters. This has gone on a pretty long time. To be honest, if I was sitting at home in front of the screen instead of checking up on it on the remote desktop on my phone every couple minutes, then I probably would have stopped it by now, because the closer we get to the last 10 minutes of the hour, the more likely it's going to chop and we are going to enter a trade and lose because of an immediate reversal. So yeah, like I told you, I'm just watching this replay right now after I had been monitoring while I was out taking the kids to school. I keep remote desktop open on my phone so I can make sure things go okay. For example, I could lose internet or I could lose power at my house and that'd be a disaster. So I have to keep checking up on it and make sure everything is okay. And if it's not able to connect, then I would have to go in my Tradeovate account and flatten everything if there's any trades open. I love these new Jocko electrolyte drinks. No food colorings or anything. I like the fruit punch one more though, but they didn't have it. It seemed like they're out of stock everywhere I checked. I got the last blue raspberry. So I know my bot trading is pretty boring, and you probably saw a lot of opportunities that you're like, oh, why didn't it take that? Why didn't it take that trade? So on that note, let me know how your trading went this morning. I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. One thing I want you to understand also, I'm a developer and I love building stuff like this. So that plus my, family obligations and my schedule and stuff, that's why I have to do this bot thing. But I also love building it. I love the problem solving. Now, my dream is not to have something that I just leave running 24/7 and it just makes money while I don't watch it, because that's not realistic. Stuff can happen. This is going to get stopped out, I'm sure. See, this is what I'm talking about. Near the last 10 minutes of the hour, stuff like this happens. Then maybe in the last 5 minutes, there could be a big move sometimes, but there we go. So sitting at negative 37 for the day on the leader. That means a $74 loss on my 250K PA and a $112 loss on my eval. So, what do you think about that last trade? I mean, if I was doing it myself, I definitely would not have sold there. I don't think you would have either, because it's chopping towards the last 10 minutes of the hour. There's no obvious way that it wanted to go, in my opinion. Maybe you see it differently, though. I guess if we're thinking from, ICT concept sort of thing, we can see a market maker buy model on here. No, please tell me I did not leave the mouse pointer there on the screen when I did remote desktop. It's going to stay there forever, isn't it? Well, let's see if we can make the loss back. It's going to keep trying until 10:40 Eastern. So it's either going to lose 400 or it's going to make 320. After 10:40, it's going to stop. If I wanted to play a little safer, I would only let it trade until 9:40. If it hasn't gotten if it has not reached the daily profit target by 9:40, I'm probably in for a choppy time. So I may just disable 940 to 959 and 10 to 1040. Another rejection, 3.2 to 1. Woo! Excuse me. Allergies killing me right now. Well, this price action got boring really fast. Here we go. Okay. So we're back in the green a little bit, but it's still not going to stop until it hits 320. So let's see how it goes. So if I was using a further profit target and enabling the trailing at 10 levels, it would have just gotten stopped out because it hit 300. It would have moved the stop to 290 and we'd be back here. And a lot of other times it would have just been stopped out at break even. So I have been collecting more points just with this, these small scalps, 5 to 10 points. Another reason for that is that, as you can see, my bots trades, they they look later than they are on the 200 tick because the 200 tick is such high resolution, but still, they don't get the exact bottom or top. So what am I trying to say? There's not that much room after entry before a retracement usually happens. So that's another reason for the small scalps. Man, this is the longest I've ever had to watch for it to hit the profit target or the max loss. Sitting at 193 total on my Apex PAs. That's why it says, or it said, funded RPNL, realized profit and loss at the top. All right. Now 634 funded RPNL. But still, if you check down at the bottom on the 50K that is only trading one contract, you can see it's made 211. So we're going to need one more win at least before we can call it a day. By the way, in case you're curious, the max payout that it shows, that is based on the maximum I could take out of each account that is above the minimum safety net. So that would be bringing it down to, for example, 52,100 on a 50K account, which honestly, I probably would never do, but I just want to know. I want these numbers in here to max what it would show in Apex's payout request page. So I set up those calculations in there. So, on days when I feel like, oh, I must be so far away, which encourages me to be irresponsible, I can just look at my stats over there and see, well, no, I have this much in buffer. I can take a payout right now, etc. I also have options for like the distance to minimum safety net for the accounts that have not met it yet. So on some accounts, on some days, depending on how I'm feeling, and if I had a loss that day or the day before, I might feel like, oh man, I'm so far from even becoming close to hitting the minimum safety net, and I might do something irresponsible. So I added that in there, which I'll show you in another video. Basically, it's another column in there that says distance to minimum, and it shows how far I am away from that minimum safety net. So the day after I added that, I noticed that on one of my 250Ks, I had thought and felt like, oh man, it's going to take me 3 or 4 weeks to even hit that minimum safety net. And it turns out I was only $400 away from it. That sounds stupid because, I mean, obviously when we look at the net liquidation value, we can see whether it is close to the minimum safety net or not. But me personally, sometimes emotions and discouragement, they might cloud my judgment. Or if I have a green day, I might be like, oh, this price action today is so good, let me get some more. And I'll change the schedule on the bot so that it can keep trading past the ideal trading time that I have, which is 9:30 to 10:40 EST. I just want to have these stats here to help me reinforce good habits and minimize those mistakes that I've made in the past, especially in January. Come on. When are we going to get another trade? I want to be done with this. I got to cook some lunch. I got to go buy radishes from the store because I made some kakdugi, Korean pansan with like radishes and red sauce. It's really good. But it's too salty because I didn't use enough radish when I pickled it. So the salt to radish ratio was off. I got to fix that somehow. Okay, we're at 318.30. I believe that is it. All right, so we're done for the day. We ended up with 318 on my 50K PA with one contract, and then on the 250K PA, 636 from 2 contracts, and then finally on the eval with 3 contracts, 924. So that's it for the day. That was a long session. Thankfully, usually it's all done before 9:40. But let me know your thoughts, any ideas to improve. Let me know how your trading went this morning. Don't forget to subscribe so you get these daily updates and see how the bot's doing. And if you're interested in trying the bot out, there's still a couple spots left at the founding members rate. You can go to the link in my description and see that. But really no rush on that. I think I have to build this channel up and do a lot more of these recordings and really prove the bot works. And it's been a little iffy with, going over TradeZella stats because I only am trading one account at a time and kind of rotating them. And the last time I traded the 15 one with the balance at 53,149 was weeks ago. So no new trades are showing in TradeZella for that. And so I don't know. There's not that many trades on each one. It's kind of like stop and then switch to this one, etc. Because I'm trying to trade each one now to get them each individually over the buffer. And then once they're all past the buffer, maybe I'll start copy trading more of them than just one or two. Anyway, what am I trying to say? Bottom line is like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hope your trading's going well. Have a good day.